Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea and today I thought that I would be showing you a whole bunch of freezer meals.
What I'm gonna look like, and what my body's gonna look like, and what my body's gonna have to go through.
I've just been like, this is what it looks like. So I have about 10 recipes that I think I'm going to be working on, maybe less. Don't hold it against me if I don't get them all done. So the first one that we're going to be doing is a chicken and broccoli alfredo. I have 6 ounces of cream cheese, 126-ounce can of cream of chicken. Is it just called cream of chicken? Yeah, just cream of chicken. I have a bag of frozen broccoli, some Italian seasoning, and some chicken. We are going to be pretty much throwing all of those into a container. I'm going to be making a double batch. Pretty much everything in this I'm going to be making 2 of so that I can get about 20 recipes from it. So let's get to prepping. All right. And today I have gone to Publix, Aldi, and Walmart trying to get everything to fix these meals. And I still, oh no, my bag ripped. That's an error. And I still have to go to Costco. I drove all the way to Costco and had forgotten my Costco card. So that was a bummer. I keep doing this wrong. It goes over this way. Some people have like those really nice things that hold the bags up for you, but I just put mine in a cup depending on the size. And it's been working out fine. So like I said, we're going to use 1 can of cream of chicken soup. I still have to go to Costco, so this recipe, you do have to add chicken, but I haven't made it there. So once I go get that, then I will just throw a pack of some chicken breasts in there. I might even chop them up just because, you know, I'm making this for kids and bite sizes are best. So I'll probably chop that up whenever I get that, and I'll just add it in here and stick it in the freezer. And now I'm going to be adding in our 8 ounces of cream cheese. I haven't ever made this recipe before. I usually make, if we make Alfredo, I'm going to make Alfredo. And I have a feeling that this isn't going to be as good, but, you know, it'll be all right. I mean, for a freezer meal that you don't have to worry about, I think that it will be okay. Yep. Let me wash my hands real quick. Am I the only person when, like, I want my hands to keep being clean when I'm cooking? That's real hard for me to let go of, seeing as a lot of cooking is messy, and I'm just a messier person. I'm messier when I'm cooking. Now I'm just going to kind of pull it up so I can fit the broccoli in there. So I'm constantly like stopping to wipe my hands. And it just really slows the process of cooking down. And now I just had like I made some homemade Italian seasoning. It's all equal parts sage, marjoram, basil, oregano, and rosemary. Yeah, that's all. And so it's just equal parts, and I'm just gonna throw it in the bag. You should use about a tablespoon. And then, like I said, I will add the chicken when I get it. And this is what it's gonna look like when you stick it in the freezer. And it'll cook in the crock pot for about 6 to 8 hours. So 2 meals done. Okay, hey guys. This is actually Chelsea from the future. I've already had my surgery and I'm just trying to go back and edit some of this stuff. I just wanted to jump in and say that obviously at this point we've eaten this meal and it was not a family favorite. It was okay. It did the job, but we actually ended up cooking that in the crock pot and then adding some elbow noodles to it. It kind of gave the stuff something to stick to, which was helpful for my children. So I would say that if you are going to make this, that I would be prepared to cook some pasta with it. But overall, it went just fine, and it was a good way to get some more vegetables in for dinner.
Okay, and so for our chicken Alfredo meal, our total comes out to $10.27. Now, that seems like a lot, but in reality, it's going to feed my family of 6, and we might even end up with leftovers. What really put it over the edge is chicken that we buy at Costco. We buy organic, and so it does cost a little more, but if you've never seen the chicken from Costco, it comes in like a 3-pack, and each pack has like 2 to 3 large chicken breasts, and it runs about $20. So it comes out at like $6.67 a pack. That's way more expensive. I know for a fact you can get like a bag of chicken thighs at Walmart for less than $5, and I believe it comes with 6 chicken thighs, so you could divide that in half, and that would come out to $6.11, and that is much more reasonable. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so for the next recipe, we are going to be making meatball and ravioli soup. I'm going to link all of the recipes below. This one I actually made a little bit of adjustment on just because of some of the things that I already had in my pantry and some of the things that I found for cheaper at the store. So the first thing that we're going to need, obviously, is our bag to be able to fill up. The recipe calls for 1 can of Italian diced tomato, and I only had regular, so that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, Italian seasoning in there on top of the tomatoes, and maybe that'll kind of fix it. It calls for a tablespoon, but I thought if I layered them together, then that might mesh well with the tomatoes. And then we're going to use, I think it called for 10 ounces of frozen spinach. And I'm struggling. I'm just going to use a quarter because I've already made up some of it. And my kids aren't a huge fan of spinach anyways, and neither is Austin. And then I'm going to use a quarter bag of these tortellinis. Well, they're meant to be tortellinis, of these raviolis. Just put those in there. Let's see about how much it is. And then we're going to take our meatballs, and I bought like the Walmart brand, and I'm just going to put in about half of the bag. And then that is all that we're going to add into this. It does call for, 45 ounces of chicken broth for the end, but I've halved it, so I have no idea what half of 45, but you'll have half of 45 ounces of chicken broth. I cook our chicken in the crock pot, and if I have some leftover broth that hasn't mixed in with our chicken when we shred it, then I just freeze it. So I took a bunch of these out of the freezer just to show you, and you'll actually add these in when you put it into the crock pot. But that is what our first one looks like, and then I'm just going to make up another one real quick. I made one of these recipes with turkey meatballs, and the other one I made with these regular style meatballs. The original recipe calls for, there's one more in there,
calls for turkey, but I figured any meatballs were going to work. And at the store, I think there was only one of each left, so it all worked out. And then we will seal that up. And then this is all that it made. These are huge. This is it's gonna feed a lot. Okay, and so the cooking for this recipe, you're going to take your broth, put it in a bowl. Gosh, I have all these little hairs. You're going to bring it to a boil, and then you're going to add just one of those bags into it and cook it for about 10 minutes, just until like the tortellinis are a nice texture and the meatballs are cooked through. And you can serve it with cheese on top, Parmesan or mozzarella or whatever kind of cheese that you like with your more Italian flavorings. Just a little tip is to write the directions on the bag. I should have done that before I put everything in there, because now the bags are wet and it's going to be harder to make the markers work on there. But you should put just like the directions and any little added notes. Like I'll add a note on there about the broth and like bringing it to a boil and stuff. So let's just get to the next recipe. Okay, and so for our meatball tortellini soup, it comes out to $4.10 per dinner. And that is like 68 cents a serving. That is so cheap. That blows me away. And I made 4 of them. So we're just going to be eating a whole lot of that. But like I said, in that I did not add the chicken broth yet, and I also don't pay for chicken broth because I keep it from the leftover chicken broth from our chicken cooked in the crock pot. You can obviously buy chicken bouillon cubes, and that's cheaper than buying broth, but I highly, highly, highly recommend keeping the broth. Cook your chicken in the crock pot, strain it, and then store it in the freezer for moments like this. It just saves so much money. Okay, so our next freezer meal is going to be pancakes. This is so easy. All I did, I made up the entire box of pancake mix from Aldi, and I gave that to my kids for breakfast this morning, and then I just made the rest of the pancakes from that box. Now I'm going to wrap them up. My kids will eat between 4 and 8 of these, so I'm going to wrap that up in some plastic wrap and just stick it in the freezer. This is so simple, and then they can pull it out for breakfast or for dinner, whatever they need. And yeah, it's great. All right, so this ended up making 4 nights worth of pancakes. That is perfect. So I have no idea, y'all, how much this cost. The milk was less than 3. So who else can relate? Who has bags of bags in their house? All it was milk, 5 cups of milk, 4 eggs, and then the box of Aldi pancake mix. I like to put cinnamon or pumpkin spice in mine. I put pumpkin spice in it this time, but I usually just put cinnamon. So I would imagine that the total cost of this is probably, the milk was less than 3, but we'll say 3, 2 for the mix, so that's 5. And then a half a carton of eggs is about $1-ish in my area. So $6, but it served breakfast this morning plus 4 meals. So that's pretty good. All right, gotta keep prepping. Okay, so for this next freezer meal, I'm gonna be making some beef stroganoff. We got some beef, some mushrooms that I'd already froze, garlic, salt, pepper, a can of cream of mushroom soup, a cup of water, and 1 medium onion. So we're pretty much just gonna combine all of those things. They want you to put the soup and the cup of water together and mix it up before putting it in. There's that. And we'll get our onion. Oh, where my knife went? There we go, that'll be easier. There. Okay, and then we're gonna press some garlic. And then I have all of these bags of mushrooms. I have another recipe that's going to use mushroom, but I'm just going to put all of this back in, and then I'll just divvy that up into thirds. And then some salt and pepper. That looks pretty good. Pepper. Crank it forever. And then I have some beef round chuck. And then that is it for this meal. And then to cook it, you'll add 1 cup of sour cream. I'll probably add the Greek yogurt that we like. This probably needs more air out of it. And then you'll just put it in the crock pot. You'll just put the bag in the crock pot for 6 to 8 hours. And once that's done, then you'll add in the sour cream. So I am going to finish making the second one, and I'll see you back in a minute. All right, I got both of my freezer meals, and for these, they ended up being about $7.66 a meal. I could math, but I think that would be a little over $1 a meal, but that's still pretty good and convenient. So, yay. Okay, so for the next one, we are going to be doing chicken fajitas in the crock pot. I cut up like half of a purple onion. I would say about 1 cup of like multicolored bell peppers. I juiced 1 whole lime. You're going to see here in a second that I'm going to crush 1 clove of garlic. It called for, I have no idea how much taco seasoning it called for, just whatever is to your taste. Then you're also going to put in a tablespoon of honey. And for my chicken, I butterflied 2 chicken breasts and then sliced them. This was a pretty good meal, but I would have preferred it to just be a sheet pan bake. And for the adults in the household, we just ate it just as is, right from the crock pot. For the kids, we did put them on a tortilla shell. It was great. It was delicious. You can put whatever toppings on there that you would like. Some fresh cilantro would be perfect with that. But overall, I think that this was a win. Okay. And there you go. 2 chicken fajita meals. These cost for me, they cost $7.11 a meal. And that was like $1.18 a person, I think. So another one down. Okay, it is a new day and more freezer meals to make. I just finished making 30 burritos. I put them in packs of 4 because I really thought they would be more for the kids than for Austin. So that made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 2 more, 7 meals. That's pretty good. And I didn't show you what I did because it took a long time to prep everything for this, but I put pinto beans, cumin, onion, and chicken broth in a pot in a slow cooker, and cooked that for like 8 or 9 hours, and then kind of mushed that up and made refried beans. They were really good. That was my first time making beans in a crock pot. And then I had a bag of yellow microwave rice, and I put the rice in a skillet. It had like separated from the yellow seasoning stuff, so it was really just white rice. Put that in a saucepan. I think I used 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of of chicken stock, a can of diced tomatoes drained, a can of tomato sauce, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of oregano. There's something else. I think 3 teaspoons of chili powder, 3 teaspoons of cumin, and some salt to taste. And then I cooked that for like 20 minutes. And then I pretty much just rolled all of them up. So this is how many, and it is a lot. I don't know if you can tell. And I got the tortillas from Aldi, so they were fairly cheap. So 7 more to add to the freezer. Okay, so it turns out I don't have all of the receipts for the burritos, but I would imagine they were probably about $5 for the rice. It was 1 pack of rice of the microwave size. Yeah, your baby's so cute. And then not even a whole bag of dried pinto beans, and then some shells. And it actually ended up making 8 meals because I don't have enough tortillas. And this is a mess. My kitchen's a disaster. But it actually made 4 extra lunches that the kids are gonna eat today because I ran out of tortilla shells. So I think that's pretty good considering how much it made. Okay, so the next one we're gonna be making is a wild rice and chicken soup. I already put 3 or 4 cloves of garlic in here. I have some chopped up celery and carrots and onions. It's just all gonna go in the bag. Oh no. And then I have a little over a cup of wild rice. And then 4 cups of chicken stock. You can use chicken stock or chicken broth. All into the bag. And then some like chicken poultry seasoning. So I have some sage, rosemary. Sorry, I'm like out of the thing. Sage, rosemary, and thyme. I would say probably like a teaspoon, table-ish, maybe just whatever will be fine. And then I have this bag of frozen mushrooms that I'm gonna pour in about half because I am gonna double this recipe. That looks pretty good. And then I will add in our chicken, and then that's about it. You cook this, you're gonna cook this for 4 hours on high, and then you are going to add in 6 tablespoons of butter, a half cup of flour, and then 1.5 cups of milk. Once it's all done, give it a nice stir. It'll help it thicken up, and then you're ready to serve it. I think this is the prettiest one that I've made so far, and this was about $8.07, which is more than any of the other ones, but man, it sure looks good.
Hi everyone, this is me from the future. I am editing this video right now, and things were a little crazy then. I clearly didn't do any outro. I didn't say how much the last meal cost. Sorry, and I a little spazzed out there for a second. I thought that I would give kind of a run through of what we thought overall of the meals. The last meal, I just have no idea how much that cost. I haven't made it again since then. And it was probably one of the more expensive ones, if I had to guess, just because there was a lot of ingredients. I would say it was probably less than the beef stroganoff, but overall I think that these were pretty cheap meals, and they were all very, very convenient. I am going to add this under my breast reduction journey playlist because this is what I was doing it for. By the way, I am wearing that same white shirt that you see me in every video. I promise I own another shirt. It just so happened that today I wore this shirt and I was editing this video. So, next time you probably won't see me in a different shirt. I'll be giving an update on, what would that be? Probably 2 months post-op pretty soon. Yeah, I think that's what would be next. I guess I can look right here. Yeah, 2 months post-op. Can't believe how long it's been since then. It's very interesting to go back and watch this footage. It was pretty hard to see me in that leopard shirt. I do remember how much my back hurt then, but it was visually painful for me to see. So I was just like confirming some things that maybe I did right. That's always good. Anyways, back to the freezer meals. That is all of the freezer meals. I ended up making 23 of them. That was amazing. And honestly, I was back to cooking before we even made it through all of those meals.
Sorry, I say so much. That is a really bad habit. I almost did it again. They lasted for several months. So sorry. I'm so sorry. The meals were great. I would say that this freezer meal that I did preparing for the surgery, Austin has said it has been the most helpful thing for the surgery on his end. So if you are having surgery, I would suggest, if you know any freezer meals that you already like, make them up. If you get any inspiration from this and want to look for other ones, do it. If you want to make these, then please leave a comment below and tell me which ones you made, if you liked them, if you didn't. The run through for what our family enjoyed. Austin loved the beef stroganoff one. Loved it. I mean, he was talking about, oh my gosh, this is so nostalgic. This is just like when I was a kid, blah, blah, blah. He thought that it was really good. I didn't so much eat like homemade beef stroganoff when I was a kid. We had beef stroganoff from Hamburger Helper. It didn't taste the same at all as that. My favorite is the meatball soup one. Y'all, that one was like really good. I have had it so many times since then. Now it's August. Mid-August? Late August? So it's getting pretty close to a year since then, and I have made that soup a lot. I'm telling you, I have worn that soup slap out. My kids are a little sick of it. I don't so much make it for convenience as for this video. It's really just because I liked it a lot. So I highly recommend it. If you don't get anything from this video other than making that soup, then I will have done something important. Let me think what else. The chicken and wild rice soup, that was pretty good. And it was pretty. And I would say that was one that I ate that didn't make me feel bad. Like, some of these meals are things that I wouldn't normally eat. We don't usually have a lot of dairy, so like putting milk or Greek yogurt or something into a meal is pretty atypical for us. So that meal didn't make me feel bad, and I'm kind of thinking that I skipped on the flour. I think that the recipe called for flour. I think I said that there at the end, but we didn't add that in there, and I kind of don't think we added the milk in there either because I wasn't wanting it. So it was good on its own. I would say just salt to taste. That's important. And yeah, the first thing that I made, the alfredo, was weird. It was weird, and I wouldn't make it again. Maybe I would, just because I know how to do it, and it did have broccoli in it, so that's always a plus, but it wasn't particularly enjoyable for anyone. So it was very budget friendly, and if that's something that is necessary for you, by all means, give it a try. Maybe you will like it. Maybe you'll find a different variation that will work better for you than I did. But I would say that overall, making these meals was the right thing to do. For me, cooking helps me have a sense of control. And that's kind of what I was doing with these freezer meals. Was I felt so out of control because of the surgery and not really having a whole lot of say in the outcome and stuff like that. So making these freezer meals was about all the control that I had over the situation. And I think that it was a good way to go. I would definitely recommend making a freezer full of things, especially if you have kids or just a husband that doesn't know how to cook. This was the right call, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed taking a little walk down memory lane for myself, and remembering some of those recipes, remembering the days that we made them, and like what was going on, what part of recovery I was in when I wanted to eat them. So this is pretty fun for me. I guess that is about it. Like I said, I'll be having another post-op video coming out soon. So if you are interested, then don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.